I'm joined here now by Kevin Carr, and Kevin's story is what Walking with the Wounded is all about. Kevin, you've got an amazing story and a journey that you've taken, and it's a very personal journey, but it's actually become a very big journey for the contribution you've then made, and actually the way in which you've used the service to go through ups and downs in life. And
Yes.
you know, so tell me a little bit about you, Kevin, and how you came to join Walking with the Wounded as a charity, as a user, and then the journey you took afterwards. It's fascinating.
I joined the British Army 1999, as soon as I left school after a really bad childhood.
Right.
I joined for a family, basically.
Right. Yeah.
That was in 99. I left in 2004 after a tour in Iraq. Mental health deteriorated. I was drinking a lot, and I snapped my ankle attempting to play regimental rugby.
Ooh.
When I came out of the army in 2004, I struggled with the transition really bad. I wasn't stepping up to the plate as a father. I'd not long, obviously, had a child, and my partner, you know, and I ended up homeless. I was on the streets, I was drinking. I'll admit I was doing other things that I wasn't supposed to be. My life just spiraled out of control. And it all came to a head in 2017. I'd had enough, so I tried to take my own life.
Wow.
And I ended up living in a veterans centre in Catterick Garrison.
Yep.
And when I moved into there, I was introduced to a lady that works for Walking with the Wounded.
Yep.
She was like an employment advisor, and also, you know, just absolutely, she's my little guardian angel, as I can now say now, you know.
Brilliant. Yeah.
If it wasn't for her,
Yeah.
I wouldn't have been introduced to the charity, you know what I mean? I wouldn't have obviously been able to do the things and meet the family that I have today, as I call them. I started working with her. I went through, done loads of different courses. I got my security license. I done refresher courses in my HGV.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
I was a driver in the army and I did have the licenses, but I had no experience.
Got you.
So, well, as they call it on Civvy Street, you haven't got no experience, you know what I mean?
Yeah, you've been driving them all the way round in the army, but you haven't actually done the on the British roads with all the potholes.
Transporting ammunition around there. Yeah. Hot zones. You know what I mean?
But then I can't take a lorry load of stuff from one to the next place. Exactly.
So obviously started working with her. While I was there, I heard she introduced us obviously to other members of the team, and I learned, and I worked alongside the charity. Well, not worked, but I was doing lots of things with the charity, like the Cumbrian Challenge. I came down and helped and done things, and I slowly started to pick myself up.
Yeah.
And she took notice of that, and she put my name forward for one of the 2 yearly expeditions. Expeditions that the charity hold.
Oh yeah.
Because the charity was founded on an expedition in the South Pole.
Right, I see. Yeah.
So she put my name forward for the Walk of America.
The Walk of America.
Yeah.
It's a big place, America. How many? I'm not going to ask the steps, but what was the distance to walk in America?
1,000 miles.
1,000 miles.
In 10 weeks in between Los Angeles and New York.
Wow.
So we started in June 2018 and finished the 9th of September at the 9/11 Memorial.
Right, okay, yeah.
And that in itself, it was just an absolute...
It's crazy.
Crazy. 1 minute I'd gone from, I was sitting on the edge of a cliff. Yeah, and within the space of about 7 months, I was on the plane in London, flying out to LA.
Wow.
To go and walk 1,000 miles across.
That's unbelievable.
And that's down to this charity.
Yeah.
The money that they raise, it doesn't go on expeditions, because like obviously we've done the North Pole, South Pole, done the Walk of Britain, the Walk of America, and now it's the Walk of Oman that's coming up.
Oh, okay, right, great. Yeah.
Which I've been lucky enough to meet the team. The team are here today.
Yeah. And so that was just what an experience that was for you. You know, having come from where you were, and then being able to physically do that with your ankle as well, because you've had a broken ankle. And so, then the journey, you came home and the journey changed a little bit for you, didn't it?
It did, yes. Obviously, with us being away for 12 weeks and doing something immense as that, when I came back, I was still living in the Veterans Centre, but I was up height.
Right.
Me mental health was like,
buzzing.
Fantastic, My anxiety was just gone.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I came back to just sitting in a little box room, and after a few weeks, I just started dipping.
Yeah.
And I ended up moving out the Veterans Centre into my own flat.
Yeah.
And that, I think, I did that too quick.
Right. Yeah.
And I went downhill again. I was by myself all the time. I was just drinking. I wasn't, you know what I mean? My mum had passed away just before I went over to America.
Right.
So like I had no other family or nothing like that. I just ended up just basically partying all the time.
Yeah.
And I wasn't really going out my way to contact people and contact the charity when I know I should have. Because they always said, even though you've moved out the Veterans Centre, we'll always still be here for you.
Yeah.
But I didn't. I basically went under the radar for about a year and a half.
Yeah.
Until it came to a head where I attempted to take my own life again.
Right. So you've literally gone from that great big high to the really big low that you started your journey with Walking with Wounded.
Yeah.
That's really tough. That's really tough.
Yeah. So I was put in contact with one of my former support workers from the Veterans Centre who now works for Walking with the Wounded.
Yeah.
And he does the high intensity therapy service alongside the NHS.
Okay. Right.
And
what's that about? What's that about? High intensity? Is it mental health, physical? What's it about?
It's the mental health side of things.
Yeah.
The veterans, through the veterans services and the NHS. I was working with me support worker and an NHS psychologist, and I just went into some deep therapy. Something that I'd never done.
Yeah.
And
it takes a lot of guts to do something like that as well. So, when you've literally gone down to the bottom, and now you're into that intensity. But you've got that familial support of the Walking with the Wounded team that are taking you through that element.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it also helped that he was also my support worker while I was living in the Veterans Centre.
Right.
So I knew him on a bit more of a
friendship
personal.
basis.
Yeah. So that helped us open up a bit more.
Yeah.
So I completed 8 weeks of that.
Yeah.
And I'm here now.
Well, yeah. I mean, you literally
on top of the world.
He literally bounced over, folks, and he said, "Have I got a story to tell you?" And I was like, we had a little chat beforehand. I said, "That is a hell of a story," and it is one of those really great stories for you personally.
Oh, it is.
It's changed your life. You've had those ups and downs and rounds, and today, what a great day to celebrate. You're back up, and what a great way for us to tell the world out there that Walking with the Wounded is not just a charity for one day or the next day. It's a charity for life, isn't it?
Charity for life, yeah. And I can't thank people enough, for the donations that they make and like the fundraisers that they do.
Yeah.
Because I'm like living proof now that the money that they raise does actually go towards something.
Yeah.
It doesn't pay for like expeditions to the North Pole in America.
Yeah.
That's all paid for by corporate sponsors.
Yeah.
The money that obviously everybody raises goes towards the likes of the high intensity service.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And that's
psychologists, employment advisors. I'm now in full-time employment as well. With
what do you do now?
Firm.
What do you do now?
I work for a security company now.
Fantastic. So all of the training you did before and everything like that, and now you're back in work, and and you're here supporting the first charity event post sort of the COVID pandemic. Going to raise a lot of money, and you secured with security a future for yourself now.
And I've now got a brand new flat. You know what I mean? Yeah. So I'm in full-time all thanks to the charity and obviously the fundraisers and the money that's made, you know what I mean? This is actually what it helps.
Yeah.
It does actually help, and I'm living proof, and I'm smiling every day. Everything I'm touching at the moment is turning to gold.
And this is the gold interview as well. Look, this is a great, really is a great insight for me. You know, I took some breaths when we were talking beforehand about your journey, because it was so intense, the journey that you've gone on, and to now be coming out of that end after a long period of time is just a brilliant thing, and we really can understand why this charity, Walking with the Wounded, is so impactful, and how it can help you not just come through these different challenges, but start a new life.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's great. So listen, I've taken up too much of your time, because he's actually helping here today to move some of these people who are doing the walk, and it's starting to rain. So thanks so much for telling your story. I know that will really help people understand what the charity is all about, and I'm here today to hopefully get people into the construction industry. My audience is in the construction industry, but anybody can listen to your story, can't they?
Oh yes, definitely. Yeah. I've got other stories. If you just YouTube Kev Carr, you'll see
The whole
things.
life is there.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Kev Carr, folks, it's tremendous to meet you today. Really, thanks for putting everything into context about why we're here. And Kev, you better go and help these people start walking. Cheers, mate.
Thank you.
Cheers.
Thank you.